Hello everyone, and welcome to part 2 of this 3-part mini-series on studying and academic success. The topic of today's video is going to be note-taking, which is a critical component in doing well academically. Now, in middle school and maybe high school, teachers tend to give out note packets which either have all of the notes written out in them or are just missing a few key words that you have to fill in, whereas later on in high school, and especially in college, teachers will present plenty of information on a blackboard, whiteboard, or PowerPoint slides that you must take handwritten notes from. In a majority of traditional courses, the teacher or professor will present the information to you that you will be tested on in the class periods, and it's your job to, number one, make the most of that class period, which was the topic of the first video in this 3-part mini-series, and two, which is this video, is to take good notes. Now, as far as good note-taking goes, there are 3 things you want to keep in mind. Number one is to summarize. You don't want to write every single thing that the professor writes down or has written down in your notes because that is unnecessary. Be very selective in what you write down the most important things, and summarize what you do write down. Keep it shorter, it will be easier to look at and easier to study from. Number two is to use symbols and abbreviations in your notes. This also contributes to a shorter amount of notes that you will have that will be easier to study from. It just makes it easier to read and look at. It's very personalizable for you. And number 3 is to keep your notes personal. When you're writing down, don't write exactly what the teacher has written down. Make sure that you understand it and write it in your own words. Keep it personal because this will not only help you understand it more, but it will be easier for you to go back, read it, understand it while you are studying it. So now I'm going to go through 2 examples of what a professor might give to you as material for a class and how you may want to go about taking notes on that material. So here are a couple examples. Okay, so here's the first example of summarized notes with symbols, abbreviations, and put into someone's own words. So here is part of the article from Wikipedia on cellular respiration, which is physiology, biology, all that fun stuff. So here is what the text was on this website at Wikipedia, and after going through, summarizing it, putting it into my own words, and using symbols and abbreviations, this is what I was left with. So as you can tell, it went from 16 lines of text to 6 lines of text, just by summarizing and using things like symbols and abbreviations. To be more precise, I'm going to go sentence by sentence from the original text to my summarized text to show you exactly what I summarized, what I symbolized, and what I changed. So first sentence in the original text is, cellular respiration is a set of metabolic reactions and processes that take place in the cells of organisms to convert biomechanical energy from nutrients into adenosine triphosphate, ATP, and then release waste products. My simplified, summarized version of that was, cellular respiration equals RxNS, which stands for reactions, in organism cells to convert nutrient energy into ATP, plus, meaning and, waste products. The second sentence in the original text was, the reactions involved in respiration are catabolic reactions which break large molecules into smaller ones, releasing energy in the process as weak so-called high-energy bonds are replaced by stronger bonds in the products. My simplified version of that was, reactions, again RxNS, are catabolic, parentheses, break down big molecules, arrow, meaning into, small, that release energy. Weak, high, arrow up, energy bonds lead to, double arrow, stronger bonds in products. The third sentence in the original text is, respiration is one of the key ways a cell releases chemical energy to fuel cellular activity. My very simple version of the sentence was, CR, cellular respiration, fuels cell activity. And finally, the last sentence in the original text was, cellular respiration is considered an exothermic redox reaction which releases heat. the overall reaction occurs in a series of biomechanical steps. My simplified version of that was and is referring to CR, exothermic reaction, RXN, releases heat. CR occurs in a series of steps. As you can see, I simplified it, put it into my own words, summarized it, used many abbreviations and symbols such as arrows or just shortened versions of the word, which led to my new notes that I took from this information that could have been presented by professor or teacher, very much shorter and simplified. And this will be very easy to study from compared to trying to go through this each and every single time, multiplied by 10 or 20 times depending on how much notes you have for a specific quiz or test. For the sake of time, I'm going to assume that you get the point of summarizing, simplifying, condensing using symbols and abbreviations, and putting it into your own words to simplify a much larger piece of text that a teacher or professor could have given you, and making your own smaller, simpler, more manageable notes from it. So we'll not be going over a second example for you. So, in conclusion, after you actively and intently participate during the class period, which was part 1 of this series, and take good notes on the material that the teacher or professor provides, which is part 2, this video, you will need to learn how to study these notes and properly prepare for the test, quiz, or assessment that will be given on this material at a later date. That will be the next video, which will be part 3 of this 3-part mini-series. Thank you all for watching this video, and I will see you in part 3. Peace out.